What's going on, guys? How's everybody doing? Just doing a quick review on last night's Survivor Series, 30 Years of the Undertaker. The opening match was Team Raw versus Team SmackDown, the men's match. Now, going in, Team Raw obviously had the stronger teams between the two. Team Raw won, and I was annoyed at this because they won cleanly. None of them got eliminated at all, so there's like no eliminations whatsoever, which is really annoying. The first person to get eliminated for Team SmackDown was, of course, the Messiah, Seth Rollins. He went in and sacrificed himself to Sheamus, and Sheamus road kicked him. Of course, Team SmackDown were very pissed. They were all looking at him like, yeah, you're just a piece of shit. So that's, of course, his break now. He's going away to be with his fiancée, wife, Becky Lynch. I don't know if they got married, but I know they're engaged. She's due to have her baby, so yeah, that's pretty cool. So moving on in the match, the only big person SmackDown actually had was Otis, and I thought he would have done a lot better. The lone survivor for SmackDown was Jey Uso. He has a big point to prove. Unfortunately, he didn't prove it tonight. He did fight his ass off, tried his best, so many super kicks. He got pinned, so that was Team Raw that won that, which is unfortunate. Also speaking about Jey Uso, after his match, shortly after his match going on into the pay-per-view, he was outside Roman Reigns' office. Roman Reigns came out to him. Also, Jimmy Uso made an appearance, and Jimmy Uso obviously isn't as whipped. I wouldn't say whipped, but he's not following Roman Reigns as much. Roman Reigns came out anyways. Jimmy Uso left. Jey Uso tried to follow Roman Reigns, said, "You're not going anywhere." So he was like to Jey, basically saying that nobody respects you, and that's going to affect me. No one's going to respect our family. Nobody's going to fear us. So he told Jey to get out of the building. He's like, don't come back. Just go, leave. You're a loser. I don't need to be associated with losers tonight. So that was that. The next match was the tag team match. New Day versus Street Profits. Now, I'm a big fan of Street Profits myself. Montez and Ford are very, very athletic. Well, more so Montez, but very athletic. This was a fast-paced match. A lot of super kicks, a lot of high-risk moves, a lot of dives, flips. So that was a very entertaining match. Of course, nobody knew who was going to win, especially with the hype around the match. It was pretty cool. The New Day came out in like Gears of War wrestling attire. And Big E was there with them, of course, so that was good. Street Profits won that match. Very fast-paced match. It was very, very entertaining. After that match, it was the Intercontinental and US champion, Sami Zayn, for Team SmackDown, and of course, Bobby Lashley, the US champion for Monday Night Raw, part of the Hurt Business. What was there to expect in that match apart from Bobby Lashley winning? I thought he would have squashed Sami Zayn. He didn't. Sami Zayn put up a good fight in the end, of course. Bobby Lashley did win, so that was that. Then the next match was Sasha Banks and Asuka, Raw Women's Champion and SmackDown Women's Champion. That was a pretty good match, I must say. I didn't get to watch all of it, so I can't really give much of a review on that. But Sasha Banks won, so that's a good win for Team SmackDown in Survivor Series. So yeah, the next match was, if I'm correct, was Team SmackDown versus Team Raw, the women's match. I watched all of this because obviously I'm going to watch the Survivor Series matches when it comes to the traditional 5-on-5. So we have Team Raw, who is led by Nia Jax and Baszler, and of course we have Lana in the team also, Lacey Evans, and I'm trying to forget her name, ex-member of the Iconics. I really forget her name, I apologise. Anyway, Lana was there, and Nia Jax and Baszler were telling her to wait outside, don't come into the ring, no one tag her in. So she was like just like a lone wolf outside at the bottom of the steps. Team SmackDown, I thought, were on paper anyways, were the strongest of the two teams. Unfortunately, again, Team Raw won. I'm very surprised how Team Raw won. It was a good match, back and forth a lot. Like Belair definitely was the highlight of that entire match. What happened was, how it was won was Belair was the lone survivor for Team SmackDown, and she was going up against Nia Jax, and the two of them had a double count out. And what happened? Double count out. There's only one member left of Team Raw, and who was it? It was Lana. So I kind of said to myself during the week to a few friends that Lana would win. So yeah, fair play to her. He kind of deserves that win. After the video that I seen the other day, she was talking about like social media and all that, people telling her to kill herself, and just like, you know, her mental health problems were kind of going skyrocket high because of the abuse she gets. Like, I'm not her biggest fan, but nobody deserves to be put through fucking shit just because someone doesn't like their character. Like when Rusev got let go or fired, loads of people were saying it should have been her. It's not really fair, like, you know what I mean? So bullying ain't cool. We all know that. We should all know that anyways. Yeah, so that's them matches covered. The main event now. Main event time. Tribal Chief Roman Reigns versus the Raw WWE Champion Drew McIntyre. This match I was very, very, very excited for. Big fan of Roman Reigns, especially with his work with Paul Heyman. Whoever's idea that was to put them two together was on top of it, I know. He's very well respected right now. He's putting on a lot of great work, good matches, good killer promos, especially the one on SmackDown during the week with Drew McIntyre. And then you have Drew McIntyre, two-time champion, just after winning the Raw Championship last week on Raw against Randy Orton. So this match now, good story behind it as well, and it was a hard-hitting match. Definitely, in my opinion, a WrestleMania contender match. That should have been a WrestleMania worthy match. Like, definitely match of the year for me in WWE anyways so far. Oh, where to even start with this match? So much chaos. Like, as I said, very, very hard hitting. There was moments where you thought both of them couldn't even continue on, if I'm completely honest. And if you're wondering, yes, I am reading off a piece of paper because this is my first one, and I'm not very good at not reading off a piece of paper. But I'll work on that, not to try and make it as obvious going into the future. So anyway, moving on from that. Samoan drop through the table was pretty awesome. I didn't even know Roman Reigns could pick him up because the two of them looked absolutely wrecked. After the Samoan drop, the two of them got back up, and out of nowhere Roman Reigns speared Drew McIntyre through the barricade, which looked pretty bloody sore, to be honest with you. Them barricades aren't exactly light. The two of them got back into the ring anyways, and I don't know how many times Drew McIntyre was speared. He was speared a good number, I think like maybe 5 or 6 times throughout the entire match. When they got back into the ring anyways, Roman Reigns was going to spear him and spear Drew McIntyre, and Drew McIntyre kind of moved away, and then he Claymore kicked Roman Reigns, and Roman Reigns fell into the referee, and the referee fell out of the ring. So yeah, of course we all know what happens next. If you know WWE inside out, you know how to read them. Jey Uso made an appearance. He came back. He obviously didn't leave the building. He came down and he super kicked Drew McIntyre, and then Roman Reigns got the low blow, arm straight into the crotch. So yeah, super punch and spear, super punch and a spear, and then Roman Reigns won it via submission. So that's how Roman Reigns won, via submission. Am I mad that Roman Reigns won and Drew McIntyre lost? Not really, because the two, you know what I mean, two of them are so on top of things. They were doing very well. So I would have rather like both of them lost, if I can be completely honest. You know what I mean? Like, two of them didn't deserve to lose, but at least he didn't win. Roman Reigns didn't win cleanly. There was Jey Uso interfering, like, and then a low blow. So that's good though. That's a typical heel move, like, you know. Of course, then there was like "you suck" chants loudly going around the arena. Of course, it was speakers because, well, we're in a pandemic. There's no fucking fans, unfortunately. That was the main event, but of course, it is 30 years of The Undertaker. So to close the show was the Undertaker celebration of the Undertaker, the final farewell, as they're saying. Will he retired, of course, but will he actually stay retired? That's another thing, you know. Sometimes they don't, sometimes they do. So basically, how this started off was some of the biggest feuds or the biggest matches that the Undertaker had throughout his entire career. All these people came down to the ring. And I'm after writing a list because, again, I'm starting off. So Shane McMahon, people like Shane McMahon, Big Show, JBL, Jeff Hardy, Mick Foley, The Godfather, the Godwins, who I haven't seen in years, Savio Vega, who I totally forgot about, Rikishi, Kevin Nash. No, he didn't injure himself walking down to the ring. Booker T, Shawn Michaels, Triple H, Ric Flair, can't forget about Ric Flair, and of course the final person, Kane, The Undertaker's brother. So they all just came down. The reason they all came down to the ring is because some of them matches were of course, Undertaker's biggest feuds and biggest matches at WrestleMania, or just in WWE. So that was good. After they all came down to the ring, there was a nice touching video package that was aired, and it was like superstars like Shane McMahon, AJ Styles, and John Cena, just talking, just basically saying how phenomenal. Forget about that. How big The Undertaker was to everybody, like how much of an inspiration he is. And in the video package is showing his best moments as well. So that was pretty good. After that aired, Vince McMahon was in the ring. Who else other than Vince McMahon to introduce Undertaker in his final farewell, the final walk down the ramp. So of course Vince McMahon was just, you know, saying how amazing Undertaker is, how much of a hard worker he is, how much of a locker room leader he was. And of course, like, outside of WWE, they are best friends. You know what I mean? That's why Undertaker's worked so long. He should have retired maybe 10 years ago, but he didn't, because him and Vince McMahon are best friends. It's interesting because I'm pretty sure last year The Undertaker signed a new contract for the WWE, so I'm surprised he retired. But that's the way it is. Hopefully he stays retired because he's old, like, you know. After the speech ended with Undertaker came down, the final walk down to the ring. Also, he was just talking, you know, saying that Undertaker's going to rest in peace, just thanking everybody, and it was nice. And then just before he finished talking, he got onto his one knee, put his eyes at the back of his head, rolled his eyes at the back of his head, and nice touch from WWE, I must admit this. Paul Bearer hologram looking over the Undertaker. That was pretty cool. I won't lie, it gave me goosebumps now. I didn't expect that. That was pretty cool. Of course, Paul Bearer is a big part of Undertaker's career, especially in the early days. So yeah, that is pretty much all in the review. So I'm gonna do more. I'm hoping to maybe do like 2 videos a week, maybe 3. Mostly wrestling videos, like reviews on like Raw, SmackDown, NXT, AEW. I might start off just doing 1 video a week on either Raw or SmackDown, and then eventually, if you get a bigger audience and I'm able to stick to a schedule, I'll do more videos. So yeah, so guys, that's it. Please like, subscribe, and tell your friends if you're watching. Tell your friends about the review channel. I'll also be doing music, anything really that comes to mind, I'll just make a video about. It's no issues at all. And if anybody has any suggestions and videos to make, again, just comment, drop a like, comment. So guys, that's all anyways. Thank you for watching, and we shall be here again soon. I'll make a video soon. Thanks guys.